And do you think trust has something to do with it? Reinvent trust and also reinvent democracy in a digital age?
I think I like the second part of that question. I think the reinvention of democracy is a key part of that, because we, as communities, we have an established view of the role of government. You know, in many ways, we think of government as a service provider just like any other, and we pay the government through our taxes. Well, sadly, that model is broken, and we have to reinvent it. And by reinvention, I mean we have to rethink our view of it and rethink our relationship with it. So it's going to be culture, it's going to be a cultural change, it's going to be a change to the way in which we've historically, as people, community members, worked, and then we have to change as government leaders how we work together. Now, the first part of your question was a question of trust, and I think trust is foundational to a lot of what we're doing here. The good news is, there really is a very good story here, is that by, for example, publishing and making available the vast majority of data sets within a government agency, and making it, eliminating all barriers, right, does begin to build this new world of trust. The world in which we've emerged from is one where community has traditionally believed that government has more information than they're giving away, or they're not being completely transparent about the information they have access to. And when you begin to make that available, you slowly, very slowly begin to build trust with your community. And that's exactly what we've seen in the city of Palo Alto. I'll give you just one quick example. And that example is, in America, we have a number of laws that require governments to make available information. And whilst they do that, often it's a tug of war between the requester and the agency. In particular, there's a tug of war often between the media, who want to use this information, and the agency. In Palo Alto, every year, several newspapers ask for the salaries of all public employees. And we're required to make that available. As uncomfortable as that makes people feel in the private sector, it's just part of the culture of the public sector. There's not a lot that's private about me in the work that I do. And historically, that's been a little bit of a tension. So the media wants to publish all our salaries, and the government agency has to find that information, I mean, bring it together in a format that's usable, has to vet it, and then make it available. And that's been, you know, at the end of the day, we do it. You know, government agencies do it. In the last couple of years, Palo Alto has just published this information live. And there's no more interference between the request and the availability of the data. In fact, there's no people in between. There's no middle people. And this is really game-changing. It sends a very different message. It says, look, this data belongs to you. We've nothing to hide. We want you to have it. We want you to use it. We want you to hold us accountable. And I think that has resulted in the beginning of increasing this journey to trust.